Hey guys, Zach McReynolds here of the Cherrie Zach McReynolds team, NextHome Real Estate Rockstars here in Santa Clarita. Today I'd like to talk to you about closing costs. Who pays what in a transaction? Buyer and seller closing costs. Let us start with buyers' closing costs. Right off the bat, they're expected to pay their half or their own fees, half of escrow fees. So the buyer is paying the buyer's escrow fees from escrow. They're also expected to get homeowners insurance. This is a lender required item that's going to have to be in place for the loan to fund prior to closing. Tax prorations depend on what portion of the year we're in, and if taxes are due have already been paid, the seller's already paid them for that portion of the season, you're going to have to come in and cover that difference until, the end of the year or, what portion of the year that we're in. Obviously, the appraisal has to happen. This is a buyer paid item you have to pay. This will be an out-of-pocket expense that you're going to pay up front in order for the appraisal to happen on the purchase. You're going to want to get a home inspection. You are responsible for most of your home inspection costs. This could be a negotiable item. We're in the market that we're in currently. This is a buyer expectation to pay their home inspection. You can get a home inspection. You could end up getting a chimney inspection, a roof inspection, a pool inspection, a sewer inspection. You're allowed to do all of your due diligences, but it is your responsibility to pay for them. Any loan and lender fees. So this is going to go for a credit report. If you have upfront paid PMI and you're paying that off, any interest, depending on what portion of the month that we close in, if you're paying interest upfront, the loan origination fees. This is a better question for an actual lender, but these are questions you're going to want to ask when you're speaking with the lender as far as what fees that they're charging you. Now we're going to move on to seller closing costs. The seller pays for the real estate commission. This is kind of a misnomer in the industry. A buyer does not pay any fees to purchase a home. It's all negotiated up front with the seller. They've set aside a portion of, it's a prearranged commission that they're willing to pay for someone to purchase the home. They, of course, have to pay their half. The seller pays their half of their escrow fees, or their half of escrow fees, meaning the seller's escrow fees. They're going to have to pay for any disclosure reports, natural hazards, meaning earthquake, fire. The buyer needs to be made aware if they're purchasing a home in an earthquake zone, a fire zone, a flood zone. Here in Santa Clarita, many of our areas are in 2 or 3, if not all of these. They're going to need to pay title insurance. The seller, again, in this market where we're at, it's normal for the seller to pay for title insurance or for the title to transfer into the buyer's name. With that, if the city or the county, and including HOAs, everybody most likely charges some sort of transfer fee. The seller is required to pay for that transfer fee. It's normal for the seller to pay for a 1-year home warranty for the buyer. This is a good thing for the seller to pay. It kind of limits their liability. Of course, let's say the buyer moves in within the first 2 weeks, something breaks the water heater, the AC goes out. It's good for the seller to have something in place to limit their liability. The seller's or the buyer's going to be upset if the water heater goes out in the first month of living there. It's to limit your liability and not have the buyer come after the seller in a lawsuit. It just gets covered by the home warranty. If there's any judgments, tax liens, any unpaid HOA dues, anything against the seller, this is all going to have to be cleared up prior to the transfer to the new buyer's name. So this will be a seller responsibility for them to pay. Thanks again for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, you can call or text me direct, 661-312-2536. Thank you so much.